What is up, YouTube? My name is Eben, and I brought something kind of fun for you today. It is a Machamp EX deck, and he's pretty much our sole attacker. He's just the one. And you pretty much know what he does by now, but just in case you don't, really, what we're using here is his crazy hammer attack. We're going to try to give him a status and hit people really hard with him. Yep, that's pretty much the gist of it. Of course, we can use Steaming Mad in a pinch to do some really heavy damage. But yeah, that's the point. But we're not going to do this in necessarily the most traditional way. We are pairing with Ariados for poison, of course, but the other Pokemon we're combining with is Vivillon from Breakthrough. It's kind of an unusual Mon, and what we're going to use here is its ability, which allows you once per turn to flip a coin, and if you get it right, you can search your deck for a basic energy and attach it to one of your Pokemon. Period. And you can do this every turn. So the idea is to get up one or two Vivillons and just start using its energy color every turn. If we use Forest of Giant Plants, because we don't really need Fighting Stadium in this deck, realistically Machamp hits quite hard enough by itself, so we don't really need that much of a boost. It's ultimately pretty meaningless. We can easily run Forest of Giant Plants, get this Vivillon up on turn 1, and get a Machamp EX going on our first or second turn, since we'll have each of those turns to potentially energy color, do a manual energy attachment, etc. So it's quite easy for us to see Machamp EX is getting powered up very quickly and trying to go for one-hit KOs just as soon as possible. So that's the Vivillon. We're running 3 of it, and we're running 3 Spupas. Now, you can use either one. I kind of lean toward the XY one because it's got a little more HP, and we're not really planning to attack. But we do run 1 Grass Energy just so that our Grass Pokemon are completely dead. So if you want, you can opt for the Protect Spupa down here with 10 less HP, but I do like the one that's got more HP. It just seems a little more logical for me. And the same argument goes for Scatterbugs. You can run either one you want. This one's got the actual attack that might defend itself, but I like the 40 HP just a little better. But it's a 3-3-3 line of Vivillon anyway. And our Ariados family is pretty straightforward. We're using the Poisonous Nest. We got 2 Ariados and 2 Spinarak, and we can obviously set these up on our very first turn as well via Forest of Giant Plants. And lastly, we've got 2 Shaman EX to kind of help us power through our deck, because speed is indeed the name of the game for this deck. Supporter-wise, it's pretty straightforward. We've got 4 Sycamore because we really want to just, draw a lot of cards. If a hand's not good, we throw it away, we get something new, and make sure we hit everything we need to. We do have 1 Judge to kind of mess our opponent up, especially once we've set up, we can use Judge to kind of mess our opponent up, slow them down. That helps us set up. We have a Giovanni Scheme because it does offer some drop power, but also it can give Machamp EX a little boost if you can't find like a strong energy or something like that to kind of get him to that 180. And also because of Fighting Fury Belt, hitting 210 is pretty important. So when you factor in things like strong energy and poison from Ariados and like a Giovanni Scheme, we can hit 210 pretty reasonably. So Giovanni Scheme is a pretty nice option for Versus Seeker. Lysander, pretty straightforward there. We like to pick off things like Shaman for knockouts. AZ, because we can power up our Machamp EXs pretty easily, we can take advantage of AZ to pick them up. And also, it's worthwhile to note that if we have to put Ariados or Vivillon in the active slot, we can easily AZ it, pick it up, and with Forest of Giant Plants, just play the whole evolution line right back down out of our hand, erasing damage or any effects or anything in the process. So that's a pretty cool trick. And lastly, we do have Hexmaniac because there are a number of things that can just wall Machamp EX completely with their ability, and that kind of thing is obviously pretty undesirable. And we can fire off Vivillon and Ariados before we set off our Hexmaniac, so that's pretty good there. Pretty nice synergy. We've opted for 3 Forest of Giant Plants because we really just want it on that first turn, so we don't want to have too many to dead draw. And we have lots of ways to access it, so it shouldn't be too much trouble. We're running 4 copies of Versus Seeker. We're running 4 copies of Ultra Ball. And that Ultra Ball is pretty important because it gets us our Vivillon, our Machamp EX, and our Shamans. And sets us up for our Shamans, of course, as Ultra Ball always does. But we are also packing 2 copies of Level Ball just to help make sure that we can get our Scatterbugs, our Spupas, our Ariados, and also the Spinaraks for it as well. Now, to get all these items set up, we do run 4 copies of Trainer's Mail. These are pretty useful, and of course it helps prevent getting bad hands without supporters. That can help us kind of back out of that. We have 3 Muscle Band, because this is pretty much the tool of choice for Machamp EX, because that turns his 160 into a 180, which is a one-shot on most EXs that aren't carrying the Fighting Fury Belt. We also have 2 float stones. Machamp EX can carry it in a pinch, but it's basically to help our other mons get in and get out of the active slot if they need to. And we've also got 1 Super Rod. This is great for reloading basic energies back into the deck for Vivian to reuse. And of course, it can also put Pokemon we have to throw away to Sycamore back in as well. So that's a nice alternate use for it. We've got 4 Strong Energy. The idea here is Vivian can't access these, but these are the energy we want to play from our hand. Pretty much every turn you want to play Strong Energy onto your Machamp EX, either the active one or somebody on the bench who wants to be active. We've got 5 basic fighting energy, and that should be really all we need, because this, combined with the strong energies, is that's quite a few Machamp EX power-ups right there, actually, so it's not really a problem there. That's quite enough. And we do have 1 grass energy. Machamp EX does have a colorless in his attack cost, so you can easily use Vivian to put this onto Machamp. It's not a problem in that regard, but it does allow our Vivian and potentially our Ariados to attack if we really have to, so they aren't just all completely dead. If we really need to attack with somebody who's not Machamp EX, we do have a way to do it, and Vivian can even access it out of our deck for us, which is pretty nice. And that is the deck. Definitely try it out. I don't know if it's necessarily what I call competitive, but you might be able to win a local with it. It's just a really fun way to play Machamp EX, and it'll definitely catch some people by surprise. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter. Link is below. You'll find out if videos have to get delayed for one reason or another, like this one, which was delayed due to super heavy rains, making it difficult to record and post over here in my area. You would have known. If you were on Twitter, you'd know that kind of stuff. It's just kind of cool to find out that sort of thing ahead of time. And I will see you next time.